In another legal blow for the Public Protector, the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria has ordered her to personally pay over 7% of the legal costs for the DA and Casac. Well, this matter relates to the Estina Dairy Farm case. Let's get an update now from our reporter Muloko Muloto. Muloko, well, the ruling has been done and it has not gone in favor of the Public Protector.
That is very true, Braden. The judge here today is saying that the Public Protector must personally pay 7.5% of the legal costs to the Democratic Alliance. Separately, she must pay another 7.5% of the legal cost to Casac. The rest, 85% actually, for both Casac and the DA will be paid by her office. But the Office of the Public Protector, the spokesperson Opa Seralo, said the Public Protector is going to challenge or appeal today's judgment. But there was a separate matter, of course, that was heard, or there was a discussion between the Deputy Judge President of the North Gauteng High Court, Obrili Dwaba, with the legal representatives from both the Public Protector and the Presidency this morning. And Opa Seralo now joins us to give us an update in that regard. Opa, tell us about outcomes of the meeting that you held today. The President has written to the court saying that he wants information, confidential information relating to the CR17 silt. What is the information?
Well, that meeting was held, and the outcome is that the Deputy Judge President decided that that record must be sealed or hidden from the public for now, and he will revisit this matter again once the President's legal team has gone through the record and considered the contents thereof.
So the information will be sealed for now. Members of the public will not have access to it. Are you happy with that decision?
Well, the Public Protector is not happy with the decision because, one, she feels that the people have a right to know. Secondly, the Public Protector is of the view that the request itself was baseless because, if you recall, the President's attorneys indicated in that request that the basis for such a request is what they suspect to be an unlawful acquisition of the evidence that the Public Protector relied upon. And we have put the matter beyond doubt by placing on the record how the Public Protector acquired that information and that it was not illegal at all. So the basis was not established by the President's legal representatives. But lastly, the Public Protector was also concerned that it appears that the President is representing third parties who have not come forward to say that they oppose the filing of this record so that the public can access it. And by the third parties, we are referring to the donors themselves. They have not opposed this. So the President is acting seemingly on their behalf in this regard. And the Public Protector is of the view that that is not, it's strange.
Let's go back, Opa, to the judgment cost that was handed down today regarding the personal cost order that the Public Protector will have to incur or carry. She actually said, Judge Tolme, that the Public Protector failed the poor people, vulnerable people of Estina, people that she was meant to protect. And we learn that actually you are continuing with the investigation and you have already interviewed politicians such as Ace Magashule, the former Premier of Free State, and Mosebenzi Zwane. Tell us more quickly about that continuing investigation into Estina.
Yes, that investigation started last year following discussions with the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Correctional Services. And to date, as you rightly point out, the Public Protector has been able to interview a couple of politicians, among them the former Premier of the Free State, Mr. Magashule, and the former MEC of Agriculture in the Free State, Mr. Mkhwebane, and a few others are yet to be interviewed, but the Public Protector will be doing that shortly. But that's not all that has happened in that particular matter. Early this year, I think it was in April, the Public Protector paid the people of Vrede a visit and held a public hearing there. They came in numbers, they gave evidence under oath, some of them deposed sworn affidavits detailing their prejudice in that particular matter, and the Public Protector has consolidated all of that information. Once she is done with this investigation, she will be able to share with the public her findings in that regard.
Okay, quickly, Oba, there's a perception out there that the Public Protector actually is protecting certain individuals or factions within the ANC, particularly people aligned to Ace Magashule and Mkhwebane. How sure are we that in this case she's going to hold those accountable in particular?
Firstly, we don't know as the Public Protector who belongs to which faction. We just rely on what you, the media, say. Some of you have said people like Malusi Gigaba, people like Des Van Rooyen, people like Lynn Brown are aligned to that faction that we are alleged to be protecting. But the Public Protector has made adverse findings against all three of them. In fact, two of them lost their jobs directly as a result of the Public Protector's findings. We have letters from the presidency to that effect saying, I have decided as the president to let go of Mr. Des Van Rooyen and Minister Lynn Brown purely because of the Public Protector's findings that they had misled Parliament. So it doesn't make sense then to say the Public Protector is playing politics, she's factional. There's no basis at all. In fact, when you look at the latest such allegation relates to the Bosasa investigation. When you consider that it was brought to the Public Protector by the DA and the EFF, it is difficult to reconcile that claim with the reality.
Okay, thanks, Oba Sogalwe. He speaks for the Public Protector. Well, there you have it, Braden. Of course, the Public Protector saying she's going to appeal today's court order judgment. Of course, there is a constitutional court judgment which today Judge Tolme said was related to this particular judgment that she handed down today. So, prospects of success, we all wait to see how this one is going to pan out.
And Muloko, just to clarify, I mean, there were two things that were happening around the Public Protector's matters in the North Gauteng High Court. One of them was the meeting with the Deputy Judge President of the North Gauteng High Court, Lidwaba, in terms of sealing or not sealing the documents, the banking records in the Bosasa donation matter in relation to the President. And the Deputy Judge President, just to make sure we got it clear, has granted the request to seal those documents.
Absolutely, but only for now, Braden. There is going to be another determination after the President would have filed the papers in this regard. So we don't know whether that decision will be validated or the judge will overturn his own decision.
Okay, and then of course on the legal cost, Busisiwe Mkhwebane's office losing that one, and she has to pay personally some of those legal costs in this Estina Dairy report matter, and she's appealing those. Thank you very much. That's Muloko Moloto at the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria.